Andrea Mitchell tells Health and Human Services Secretary Tom Price the Republican health care bill is from a bunch of white men health care for women. Just listen to this.
They were mostly all men, and white men at that. There was no diversity there. Women's health issues arguably are going to be disproportionately affected.
Andrea, come on, look at that picture. Congresswoman Diane Black, the chair of the Budget Committee, I was standing next to her. Seema Verma, the administrator of CMS, I was standing right next to her.
Out of a group of dozens and dozens of people, you can cite two or three women?
These are prominent individuals who are leading in this area of health care.
Joining us now, New York Republican Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, and yes, she was there in the Rose Garden. But we do know that this is going to be a point of attack from the left, that this replacement for Obamacare is anti-women. I heard it a lot over the weekend, and you know, the backdrop of photo shoots and things like that just add fuel to the left's fire. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they didn't mention that I was standing in the front row, right there prominently with Mimi Walters from California, Martha Roby. We were standing right in the front. So we were there, and we all supported the Health Care Act. And as a woman, I certainly support women's health, but I also, as a aging woman, I have different needs. I think that what this health care bill does is allow us flexibility. So as women, we can choose health care plans that we want. I no longer need to buy prostate cancer care and many of those other things that I was forced to buy under Obamacare. So as a woman, I now have flexibility to tailor, you know, health care to my own needs. And I think that that's going to help drive the cost down, which is the whole point of what the American Health Care Act is, just to bring the cost of health care down,
right,
especially in the individual market, which is where the problem is.
I mean, when it comes down, you can actually use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's the whole idea. You're not going to be healthy if you can't really use your insurance because the deductibles are too high.
Absolutely, and in my area where I live, we have a number of middle-class families who are in the individual market who've seen enormous, families, especially. I have a friend with 3 young daughters. He has a $12,000 deductible. He can't afford to go to the doctor. He's got health care, darn it, but he can't go to the doctor.
Do you feel like the Republicans are losing, though, early on this PR battle? I mean, the comment that Andrea Mitchell made, Bill Maher made, a whole lot of people made that there were no blacks, no Hispanics, no women, and they're coming after your health care, they're coming after poor people. Do you think the GOP needs to get tougher with respect to the message here? I think
the Republicans can be messaging a lot more aggressively. It's the same old story. It's race, gender, class. Everything, you know, we've devolved into this divisive rhetoric coming from the Democrats. What about unity? What about standing together? Isn't that what this country is about? I mean, we talk about individual rights and freedom. Those are things that unite us as Americans, not talking about all the divisiveness. And I think in the end it's going to hurt the Democrats, because you're seeing more and more millennials getting tired of the same old arguments and the same tired stories. I, for one, you know, I think even in my area, Trump won my area by almost 60% of the vote in upstate blue New York.
Right. I want to ask you about this, Congresswoman. President Trump's chief economic advisor, Gary Cohn, he appeared on this program on Friday, and he says that they are they're right now being advised by many different groups within the Republican platform. I want you to take a listen to what he had to say when I ask you about it.
Okay.
We're just starting down the path of taxes, and unlike health care, we are out talking to all the groups that are going to be interested in our tax plan. We've met with the Freedom Caucus. We're continuously going out and meeting with groups. We're going to meet with industry groups. By the time we get a bill drafted, we're going to know everyone's issues. We're going to have dealt with those issues, and we think it's going to make it substantially easier to get that through Congress.
So, Congresswoman, obviously a reference to the first attempt to repeal Obamacare, something of a failure there. It looked like it was a communications failure, because certainly the Freedom Caucus wasn't taken into account. After they, took it back to the drawing board, Vice President Pence played an incredible role, obviously, in swaying members. Is that how you would like to see this tax reform bill done, where you guys kind of know when it's unveiled to the public that you have the votes to get it through? Yeah,
let me just first disagree. As a freshman member of Congress, I must have attended 30, 40 different events put on by either the White House or by the House and many other interest groups to talk about the health care bill. So if anyone wanted to avail themselves of what was available and what the content of the health care bill, they could have done that. I think to go back later and say that it was a lack of communication, Mike Pence, the president, we met with people.
But they did call for a vote, and that vote was scrubbed.
Right, and I think I won't get into there were reasons why certain people were against it. We fought as a New York delegation to get our portion in, and the White House worked with us to make sure that we would take the local share of Medicaid and give that back to the states
on
to release our
taxes,
company
though,
government.
on taxes.
I think that the tax issue is going to be just as challenging on many levels. I come from a very high-tax state, New York, and eliminating the state and local taxes as a deduction is going to be an issue for more wealthy filers and people that itemize, but that's actually the minority of the taxpayers.
Right.
I'm looking forward to having a really good discussion on taxes. It's something that's actually just as important to me, especially as a small business owner. I'd love to see our tax rates come down, the pass-through tax rates. A lot of it, I mean, there's great things coming forward. It's going to be a long debate, just like it was here. And by the way, that's a good thing that we're debating,
Sure,
we're transparent,
absolutely.
we're out and open. That's what government's about. Everyone thinks it's supposed to be this backroom deal. I was in the New York State Assembly. I've seen enough of 3 men in a room.